Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here for chapter 17 today. So last time we read Scarlett and Annie were in this just really dark hole, I guess, like in the cave. There's a name for that. Is it like a cavern? Yeah, okay, so it's a chamber in a cave, that's right. So they basically fell into this separate cavern. You learn a new word every day, right? And the only way out was through this like worm-infested mud hole. And Annie has to go first. So that's where we're picking up. Me first, of course. Taking the flashlight from Scarlett, I stare down the lengths of this crawl space again as it glistens and creeps with worms. I turn to her. Like I said, fast. Got it? She nods. Got it. I take a breath. Okay, here goes. Carefully, I climb up into the crawl space and my fingers and knees immediately sink into mud and squirming worms. One plops onto my back and I fight the urge to cringe. Scarlett pushes my foot. Go! I take off as fast as I can, holding the flashlight and shuffling through the muck. In my peripheral vision, I see one particularly fat creature crawling down my shoulder. Oh, Scarlett groans. Gross. Faster I go, trying not to think about the fact that we're slugging our way through worm poop, too. At least they're not spiders. Just the thought of that makes me shiver. I hear Scarlett spit, and I immediately press my lips together. I'm not getting one of these things in my mouth. The crawl space opens wide, and I slide out of it and onto a dirt floor. Scarlett plops down right beside me, and we both immediately jump to our feet. The flashlight beam bounces around as we hop and jump and sling worms off our bodies. I grab one crawling up Scarlett's back and fling it aside. She slides one out of my back pocket and tosses it into the crawl space. We look at each other and burst out laughing. I have no clue what I look like, but I imagine it's just like her. Top to bottom, muck. She runs her hands down her arms and lobs off black ick. I don't even want to know what's on me. I laugh even harder. I'd give anything to see Finn do what we just did. She chuckles. He'd never make it. You're right about that. Still smiling. I flash the light around the room we're now in. It's big, just like the one that had Bassinger's skeleton, but empty. No stalagmites or stalactites. Nothing at all. Just a big, dry room. I bet you hate you're stuck with me, Scarlett mumbles. The smile still lingering on my face falls away, and I turn to look at her. She's staring around the room, pretending like she didn't just say what she just said. It reminds me of yesterday, when she commented on how great it must be to have such good friends. And like yesterday, guilt nestles in, and it mixes with pity. She looks over at me and smiles a little, and I give her a playful shove. I like being in here with you. I tell her, surprised to find myself actually meaning it. Come on. I nod towards the center of the room. Let's find a way out. As we walk side by side, I start to think about my friends. What if we don't get out? What if we can't find them? We're going to be in so much trouble. Everyone was heading in the other direction, right? Scarlett stops and looks around. Actually, we came down the chute and crawled down through the hole, she points. They should be above us somewhere in that direction. She grabs a light and shines it on another crawl space. This one's smaller than the one with the worms. There. Together, we get closer and survey the opening. It sits about 3 feet off the ground. No bugs, nothing. Just a nice dry hole, but small. We'll have to crawl on our bellies. She takes a deep breath. I'll go first this time. Into the hole she goes, and I follow. On our stomachs, we slowly crawl, and the farther we go in, the smaller and smaller the hole becomes, until I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make it. Ravioli or spaghetti? She asks. Huh? I've got to think about something else or I'm going to get claustrophobically freak out on you. So, ravioli or spaghetti? Ravioli. Gum or lollipops? Gum. Pepperoni or cheese pizza? Cheese. Coke or Pepsi? Coke. Hamburgers or hot dogs? Hot dogs. Have you ever kissed a boy? Rocky pops into my mind and my face heats up. Why would I think of him in the same sentence as kissing? Oh my gosh, Scarlet excitedly says. You have, haven't you? What? No. Oh, well, I have. His name was Scott. He tried to French me and I told him no. Scarlet, that's gross. I'm never letting a boy stick his tongue in my mouth. She giggles. I might if they were Edge. He's so fat. This is fat spelled P-H-A-T, like the cool fat. Yeah, he's definitely that. Why have you been flirting with Rocky then? I mean, if she likes Edge, why bother with Rocky? Scarlet doesn't answer, and just when I think she's not going to, she says, I don't know. It's just what I do. I flirt. I like it. It's fun. I don't get it. What's so fun about all the weirdness? Heck, just the thought of flirting makes me a little queasy. She continues, kind of like when I embellish stories. I like it when people notice me. It makes me feel good about myself. And also kind of crappy, I guess. I mean, I'd rather not tell lies, but they come out of my mouth before I know it. My counselor tells me I'm trying too hard to get people to like me. Your counselor? When my parents got divorced, the court ordered all of us to see a counselor. Oh. That must stink, being ordered to see a counselor, and having your parents get divorced. I wonder what it would be like to only ever see my parents separately. So, the NASA telescope wasn't true? Of course, Finn already told me the answer, but I asked the question anyways. Oh, I made a telescope. That's part true, but no, not the NASA thing. I wonder how many of her other tales have had some sort of truth to them. Like the squirrel. Maybe she did get bitten, but made up the rabies part. You know, you don't have to do that around my friends. The embellish thing? Just be yourself. They'll either like you or they won't. Though I'm behind her and I can't see her face, I get the feeling that she's smiling. Yeah, I'm getting that. The problem is, like I said, the lies come out of my mouth before I even realize it. Second nature. That's what my mom calls it when you say or do something before thinking. Lying is second nature to me. Scarlet thinks about that a second. You're right. It is. Something to work on. That's something else Mom says. To find your weakness and work on it. Come to think of it, I haven't embellished in a while. At least not around you all. But I did with Edge when I told him I had a friend with a one-legged dog. I think my counselor would still be proud. She'd also probably say my behavior is getting better because I'm getting comfortable with you and your friends. They're your friends now, too. Yeah, I guess they are. Scarlet keeps moving forward. Okay, then what's your weakness? What's your something to work on, other than swimming, of course? I give that question some good solid thought, and I frown. I have a lot. My room is always messy. I don't study. I give Mom a hard time about all the girly clothes she buys me because I never want to wear them. Pretty much any time I sneak off with the scouts, I fib about it. And I'm really possessive of my friends. It's hard admitting that last one, but it's true. I like having them to myself, and I don't like that they're all making new friends outside of our group. I suppose that makes me selfish. Nah, you've been pretty good about sharing them with me. Not really. She just doesn't realize it. I'll do better. There, we're here. She crawls out of the hole and drops down 3 feet, and I fall right on top of her. Straight into cold water. Scarlet screams and we pull each other to our feet to discover we're standing in ankle-deep water. Scarlet flashes a light around a room that looks to be about as big as my school's gym. Water fills the entire area, from one wall to the next and back. I sigh. Why does it have to be water? I swear, if I make it home after all this, I'm getting swimming lessons. If I make it home. When did I start thinking that way? Please. I'm going to make it home. We all are. We have to. Scarlet hands a flashlight to me, and leaning down, she scoops up some water and starts cleaning off the mud caked on her body from the previous crawl space. As she does that, I run the light beam across the murky surface. I'm not sure she should be splashing herself with this water. Is it just me, or does it seem like there's silver glowing in the water? She stops with her cleaning, and together we study the water for a second. And sure enough, there are silver particles floating in it. I look around the room again. So does this mean one of those silver balls came this way? Or maybe the silver is here because it rained and the water flowed in from up top. Suddenly, the light bounces off something all the way on the other side of the room. It's the next crawl space, I say. Taking the light back, Scarlet studies the water again. That's definitely silver. It's all connected to whatever fell in the sky. She sucks in a breath. You don't think there's an alien in here? I catch my own breath and look back down at the water. Can aliens swim? I don't think so. But she doesn't sound very convincing. We move closer to each other until we're touching. I'm completely ready to dive back into the crawl space we just came from if need be. But there's nothing here, just us in the water. I hope. Okay, Scarlet says. I say we stick to the wall. Water's only ankle deep. We just make our way around the room to the other side and get out of here. Something brushes my leg and I jump. Did you feel that? She freezes. What? I jump again. That! She flashes the light straight down and we both leap back. Fish! Everywhere! Big ones! But there's something wrong with them. Something scary. These don't look like any fish I've ever seen. They are a grotesque milky white, like a foot long, and just as wide, with no eyes. We scream and the fish scatter. I guess they can hear us. I reach for Scarlet, she reaches for me, and we cling to each other as we hop from foot to foot. What are they? What are they? What are they? She chants. I don't know. I climb the 3 feet right back into the hole we just came out of, and she scampers in after me. Together we lie squished, our flashlight trained down on the water, staring wide-eyed, waiting for the fish to make another appearance. Just when my pulse starts to calm back down, a few of them surface. I swallow, and the sound gurgles in our tiny space. Side by side, we watch as the fish saunter by, lazily moving out for a merry little stroll, or rather, swim. They seem harmless, I say. Scarlet nods. Yeah, but they're ugly. I bet Beans would know what they are. Yeah, I bet so. A few baby ones float by and I smile. Well, those are cute. Why don't they have eyes? I shrug. Maybe it's a cave thing. They don't need them in the dark. She takes a breath and looks over at me. Well, what do you think? I think about a National Geographic video we saw at school about sharks. Not that these are sharks, but the film pops into my mind anyway. Okay, no sudden movements. We'll make our way around the room, slow and steady. If they wanted to eat us, they would have already nibbled our ankles. That's a good point, she nods. Okay, I'll go first. That's brave of you. Scarlet shrugs off that comment and out the hole she goes. I watch as the fish lazy on up swim around her ankles and head off. I release a breath. Boy, is she brave. Are you coming? She asks. Oh, sorry. I slide out and into the water and stand dead still while the fish do the same thing to me. Once they finish inspecting me and are gone, Scarlet grabs my hand and I grab hers back. Okay, steady. Around the room we go. She leads and I follow. We keep our backs plastered to the cave wall and carefully shuffle our feet around the perimeter of the water-filled room. The fish come and go, but truly they are harmless. I can't wait to tell the boys about them. Uh-oh, she says. Uh-oh. What uh-oh? I don't like uh-oh. Scarlet takes a step down, and now the water hits her knees. A dip, but the gap is only a few feet. No big deal. Gripping her hand, I step down too, but my foot slips and I fall straight into the water. It rushes into my mouth and I flail my arms. Not again. I spit and swallow and spit some more and suddenly I feel a yank and realize Scarlet is pulling me up out of the dip. She gives me a hard shake. Annie, stop fighting! I'm trying to rescue you! It takes every ounce of control I have, but I manage to refocus my brain into getting up beside her. When my back is plastered to the wall and I'm standing once again in ankle-deep water, I look over at her, and I don't bother hiding the fear and gratitude in my voice. Thanks. She smiles. That's what friends are for. She grabs my hand and I continue around the rest of the room and carefully follow her. That's what friends are for. Huh. What do you know? I have a new friend in Scarlet. We reach the next crawl space, and I go in first this time. It's the least I can do since she rescued me and all. More mud, but no worms. And a couple of minutes later, we plunk out to the other side. There they are, Rocky shouts. I glance up as the boys race towards us. If I had a bag of confetti, I'd throw it in the air right now. Rocky lands on top of me and squeezes me so tight that I squeak. then Finn, then Beans. Then we're in a group hug with Scarlet and me squished in the center. I swear someone kisses me on the cheek. I wonder if it's Rocky. You two stink, Finn says, and you're probably contagious. But he hugs us hard anyway, apparently forgetting that he's mad at me. Edge chuckles. All right, break it up. This tunnel right here leads us out. That is the end of chapter 17. So they finally made it out of the hole with some like friendship building exercises completed. But don't think it's over, because it's not. There's still much more to come. So on that note, I will see you next time for chapter 18. See ya.